This is the second show that we've done in collaboration with the Lawrence Scottish Theatre, the first being by George, which you saw that. Hopefully you saw how successful it was and how much fun we actually had. In terms of how the logistics work then, yes, I am the director. However, with no real reference points to work with, other than the author, you'll find that the way that we do this is very collaborative, and it's very much a team. So the way that we produce the show and direct the show is very much along the lines of we develop the characters as we go along, because it's not just about the comedic lines that Richard's written, it's about the physical comedy of it all as well. So we very much have a lot of fun with that, don't we? Yes, a lot of fun. And that means that the end product is basically something that we've all produced together. Obviously, with the way that we're doing it, which we'll show you in a moment, means that we do have a limit on numbers that we can have in the show, purely and simply because of the space that we've got, but that'll be explained when we go through the whole audition process in a moment. But if we go on to other people that are involved, basically from the Lawrence Scottish Theatre's perspective, we've got our producer and tech manager James Clare, who unfortunately can't be with us tonight, because I think he's doing something with Annie upstairs. No, that's not. Don't say that. With Annie upstairs. Here we go. Over there, who has declined to say any words, but our chief executive of the theatre is Becky Garrett. And again, we work very, very closely together to make sure that this production goes on as professionally as it possibly can do. Into our Woodhouse Musical Theatre team, we have, thankfully on board this time, because we didn't have one last time for By George. We've got a choreographer, and that is Lauren. And Christ. And our musical director is Kira. Three our paces. The only other thing probably to say about that in terms of the direction of the production team is that one thing we do, and that we can promise you, is that we push not to your limits and not over your limits, but we push you to put on the best that we can do and make you be the best that you can be. So if you decide you want to be in the show or you decide to audition and get a part, please be prepared to work hard, because what we want to do is put on the best show that we possibly can onto that stage. Okay? Next slide.
You're in the theatre now.
This is the layout. So this is what we're doing something different with By George. By George, oh my God, that's
You
the
said
wrong
I
show.
know.
We do it all the time.
Yes.
So yeah, we wanted to do something slightly different. And when we sat down around the table, obviously the title of this is The Village Hall. Can we create a village hall in the Lawrence Scottish Theatre? Absolutely, yes, of course we can. And this is how we're going to do it. So what you'll probably notice here, forgive me, these 4 rows here, or rather 8 rows, basically normally here. And we are turning them round and putting them on what would normally be the stage, raked. So the whole auditorium will be raked and centred into the round. We call it the round, but obviously it's not, it's a rectangle. But that again presents its own challenges, because it means that we have to perform to every direction. And that is very much how we will direct and choreograph it, yes. There's other bits that we can talk about. I'm sure Richard will probably touch on it, but just little touches when we talk to James about, for example, on the balustrades that normally you sit in front of, we will have like old-fashioned village hall radiators, so when the audience walks in, it feels like a village hall. From the donut, there will be these big, you know, the village hall lights that you have in the old village halls. They'll be then really low as the audience walk in, and then they'll go out as the show starts, and we can bring them in at various points as well, and lots of other little things. Have we got the demonstration? I'll show that later on. Perfect. Auditions then. So the auditions are on Sunday the 4th of May. The reason we've done that is because we need to get cracking. Because we all know from By George it takes a lot of work to put on a world premiere. If you can't make the 4th of May, sorry, you can't see. If you can't make the 4th of May, then we are accepting video auditions. There will not be another audition date. Purely simply because we like to get it all boxed off in one day. Yeah? So if you can't make that date, we are accepting video auditions. If you are interested in only ensemble, again, obviously I've mentioned we are limited on numbers, but what we will be doing on that Sunday is we will be doing an ensemble workshop for an hour. So there is a short snippet of a song that Richard's provided. We will ask everyone to learn it. Lauren will do a little bit of choreography, and then what we'll probably do is bring people in fours, so we can hear everyone and also, you know, understand, and we can give you all the audition without intimidating you, hopefully. because there'll be about 12 people on the panel. Not to scale. But equally, if you are wanting to do ensemble and you can't make the 4th of May, then we will accept your video audition. We've got the material that you can learn and do the video. Is that all right? Cool. Rehearsals, May to September. We will be sticking to our new format, and that is just Mondays and Thursdays evenings during the week, and that will be 7 PM till 9 PM. And then we will be starting Sundays from mid-June. Obviously, we're rehearsing this over the summer, so we better start in mid-June because we need that time. And a Sunday is such a good rehearsal. I don't know about, I know plenty of people in this room do Sunday rehearsals with whatever show you're doing. You get a lot done on a Sunday. So they will essentially be between 1 and 5. Rehearsal venues, there'll be 3 main ones. So Mondays will most likely be at our rehearsal rooms at Paddock at the Jubilee Centre. Thursdays, potentially, quite a few will be here at the theatre. And then Sundays, they'll be at HD1, move at HD1, which is opposite Domino's takeaway. That's the best way to describe it. But yeah, those are 3 main rehearsal spaces. And then show week, so we're doing Wednesday to Saturday as it stands at the moment. So Wednesday the 10th through to Saturday the 13th with a matinee on the Saturday. If we get to the point where it's looking like it's becoming much more successful, which after the success of By George it may do, there is option at the moment of a bit of leeway either the Sunday after or we start on the Tuesday. That's what we would do. We just slot another night in. Because we're into the theatre from Sunday anyway, for tech, getting all that kind of thing, and orchestra. Cool.
That's all I've got for you.
That's it for me. I think, let me just check my notes, Richard. You never know. Like, I have to hold it down. That's why I can see your glasses. Go for it. So you're alright, I'll do a 5. I think that's it from me. Obviously, I've got another hat on tonight, as in I am the chairman of Woodhouse Musical Theatre Company. So my job is to look after you all, safeguarding, all that kind of thing. But if you've got any questions about the company, please do. The Q&A's at the end. Come and speak to us, yeah? I'll answer your questions that you answered. Cool. Thank you very much. Richard, thank you.
Welcome to Cheeley, folks. If you've never heard of Cheeley, it's where our village hall is set. And myself and Maria, where's Maria? Oh, there you are, hello, love. Myself and Maria have been working on this script ever since the end of By George. It's taken about a year and a half and 2 years to come to fruition. It started out as an idea that Maria had, which was for a sitcom set in the village hall, which meant that the groups came in week after week, different things came in. And I thought, well, I can't write, so I'll go for a musical instead. So here it is, the village hall. Now, it'll be a village hall that's familiar to anyone who's ever set foot in one. There's the tall windows, unwieldy large radiators, stackable chairs, and the faded, over-polished badminton court finish. Now, there are tennis balls and dead moths in the fluorescent lights, and in the kitchen there's a large, dangerous-looking tea urn. And there's life, there's village life, and it's all in the hall. So this is what attracted a same-sex couple to Cheeley. One of them, Molly, was dying, and she wants to live out her remaining time as normally as possible. So she kept her relationship a secret and got involved with village life. No awkward questions, no sideways glances, just normality. Now, her wife, Helen, indulged her and kept her out of everything until Molly died, leaving instructions to take care of a lady called Frances, and in possession of a set of keys to Cheeley Village Hall. Helen dutifully popped the keys through Frances's door and decided to visit the village hall itself. She chose a rainy Saturday and a yoga class, and she arrived to find a rather soggy group of local yoga enthusiasts waiting to get into the hall, and a frantic Frances alongside her loyal committee members resorting to drilling the locks. Somebody had lost the keys. And that is where our story starts. So I'm going to play you a few snippets of the songs as we go through, and we'll kick off with the overture. At least I hope it plays. It might not. I don't know. What do you reckon, Will? We got something? So it's raining. And it's a very sedate overture. You'll hear the rain, but gradually the rain fades because the sun's about to come out, which drenches the whole village hall set in cascades of light streaming through those tall windows. And Maria, I'll just put the volume of speech. Thank you, sir. Just a little more volume if you've got it. Is that all right? So the whole show takes place on a jam-packed Saturday afternoon. So after yoga, there's line dancing, silver surfing, Highland dancing, writers' club, a panto rehearsal, and a committee meeting to cram in. But what about the missed activities of the morning? The life drawing class, Chile in blue, plant planting and aerobics. By the end of this chaotic afternoon, the villagers' gossipy secrets will all be out in the open. There'll be an argument over a power cable as well. And then, the drilling starts, and the doors to the hall have kicked in. It's all right. It's finished now. I'll use it next time. Sorry. Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves. First, we've got the doors open, so let's take a look at our hall. Here it is. Excuse me while I'll just pull up the slide for you. Now then, you've seen where we are in terms of the stage, but the main doors are here. So you can see that's from the stage and through the audience. The next, we have the storeroom over here, all staples of the village hall, fire doors and toilets down the bottom, and just from up here, very important, the kitchen. There's also an office there. There are no scene changes. Everything takes place pretty much in real time in this village hall. So these are the entrances and exits we use. And in case you've not got the drift yet, it's a chaotic comedy, which means there's an awful lot of farce in it. Farce involves people coming in from different entrances just when you don't want them to. And so it molds into a musical that way. Right, back to the plot. Frances takes control of the situation, holds everyone but the committee outside for a moment while she formulates her plan to cover for this enormous cock-up. The further delay doesn't sit well with the yoga leader, Pam, who bursts in and insists her class starts straight away. Having to do the yoga class and an emergency committee meeting at the same time inspires Frances to run the whole day like this. And that's done during the first number. This is a number called And Breathe. And it's a very frenetic opening. And breathe because the yoga class is taking place. They're trying to chill, calm and relax, and there's a violent committee meeting happening. So, let's take a listen to that if we can.
We've been waiting out there in a right torrential shower, and 90-minute yoga's just been put to half an hour. We're starting to stress with this farcical mess. Let's begin, now we're in, oh please. And breathe. It's done, everyone, it's fun, we've achieved. No drones, grab your phones, by Joe, we can breathe. And we're all in the hall, there's a fully soothing feeling. The stains on the panes from what's coming through the ceiling. We've had a lockout, but we've switched things about. We'll have to grin and bear it, cause we're gonna have to share it. If you're free, grab a tea, but remember, wash your pots or talk to friends. Make amends, maybe grab a lot of gossip. It's all in the thrall of these fine four walls. Change your plan, yes we can, do it all. On the village hall.
Thank you for conducting, Lady Kira. So, yoga class complete. Now, one curious key to this musical is that it tries to work in real time as much as possible. The only time advances is during the musical numbers. It gives you an impetus. If you're thinking about when the clock actually goes forward, it takes place over a 6-hour period. So that's when everything moves forward, is during the musical numbers. I think a bit like that. Okay, so it's time to set up for the first simultaneous activities. Line dancing alongside Chile in Bloom. And it gives me a chance to introduce you to our first character. Her name is Frances Waring. Frances is an uptight committee treasurer, and she's a doting wife to accountant Robert Waring, who she lovingly calls Bobo. Oh, sweet. But she's very complex and pivotal. She's got moments of strength, real weakness, humour and poignancy, and has an enormous character arc to explore. Her resolution at the end of this musical, spoiler, is uncertain, but it's really liberating. She's got the big arc of the storyline. Her numbers include And Breathe, My Bobo and Me, Ken's Here, and This Is Why. You'll find, if you came to see By George, Pauline was the lead character, played brilliantly by Nikki Cooney, and she shouldered the whole musical, and she did incredibly well. But it was principally about that one character. This has about 3 or 4 of the central characters could be confused as being the main characters of this show. It's the workload is very well spread for this, so it's a nice time if you want to try a lead for the first time. This could well be the opportunity you're looking for. Okay, so that's Frances. Opposite Frances is a lady called Helen Gorsuch. Now, Helen watches everything unravel through the first act and tries to piece things together. Remember, her partner Molly has just died, but she wasn't familiar with the village hall. So we see the village hall through her eyes. We're introduced to all those characters through her. She's an empath, I suppose you'd call her. And she tries to piece things together throughout the second act. She propels the narrative and the emotions of the plot. She is Molly's widow, and she's warm, well-meaning, observant, and candid. If you read the whole script, the one character you're likely to fall in love with is Helen. She's just lovely. Her songs include Whisper, Winter Sun, which is the theme for the whole musical, and Wherever I Hear Music, the panto, and This Is Why. But she is ostensibly a co-lead alongside whoever plays Frances. The reason I've grouped these two together, and the reason I've grouped nearly all of our characters together, is because they tend to work in pairs. So, I'm going to give you a little insight into how the audition panel will likely come up with who actually gets these parts. A lot of these characters work in pairs. So we're conscious that we don't want to present a lot of the dialogue here. We don't want to influence how people audition. There's a lot of freedom in creating characters from the page, rather than from what someone else has done. And we want to encourage you to be whatever you can see on that page. There are a lot of principals, and they interact in pairs, and the actors playing Helen and Frances have to complement each other. And there are 4 or 5 more pairings that need to really fizz to make the chemistry work on that stage. For example, David and Di, they're classed as principals. They're actually on the stage, possibly less than a lot of the chorus members and the company members will be, because they are secret partners. They cannot keep their hands off each other, but according to the committee rules, they are not allowed to fraternize. Absolutely not. So, they can't be together. It says so in the rules. In fact, one of the song's lyrics goes, "No schmoozing, no PDA, committee members can't be flirting anyway, it's untoward and leads to fraud, so we can't have interplay." Now, that's from a song called Unbreakable, which happens when Helen makes herself, thank you, that's my agent, shot himself. So Helen makes herself known to Frances and offers to help. Now, the committee takes her through the rules, one of which is that the 2 sets of keys mustn't be kept in the same place with the same person. But that's exactly what happened when Helen posted Molly's spare village hall keys through Frances's letterbox. And so we get a song which covers all the rules.
Remember, don't take home the key and the spare. Don't always get separate, no matter where. But with every trustee, it's our best guarantee. Responsibility shared. No schmoozing, no PDA. Committee members can't be flirting anyway. It's untoward and leads to fraud, so we can't have interplay. It's not a subject we can broach. We all should be beyond reproach. Be feral at our perils, keep our cool. So no, don't rock the apple cart. Keep members and their keys apart. Stick it to the manifest and don't object, 'cause then the whole committee's goal will be correct. For Chile's sake, don't make us look like fools. Please listen, reliable, pliable, unshakable. They're all for one and always unmistakable. Follow the view, unbreakable. Unkill-takeable, utterly unforsakable, unchangeable, unfakeable to unbreakable rules.
That's unbreakable. Okay, let's move on to our next set of principles. Helen then gets to know this next couple. They are Geoffrey Potts and Melanie Potts. Chile's parish church drippy vicar and his driving force wife. Now Mel pushes Geoffrey to push Helen towards a church funeral for Molly. Helen is having none of it, but Geoffrey tries nonetheless in a song called Whisper.
Often this time is the most wearing, very confusing and overbearing, telling the world, battling through red tape. It's all rather messy, it's all such a headache. And then there's the heartbreak, so much to think of, so much to do. Some don't know how to grieve. How are you? They say tradition is there to preserve us. So when would you like church for the service? There'll be no need, no fuss or bother. We can all grieve in one place or another. Surely the church be the best venue. There Molly's gone, can bid her farewell to. What did she tell you? Easy to feign faith, easy to lie.
So there you go. That's a song called Whisper, and Helen responds by telling him exactly what she thinks of the church. Okay. Now, while Chilean bloom and line dancing set up, it's back to Di and Dave. Now, Di and Dave, as we know, are secretive lovers. I'll come off the mic for this. And they're now communicating by text because they can do it from one side of the hall to the other. And so, while Francis and her team are planting hanging baskets, a line dance routine starts. So remember, you've always got two things happening at once. And this is a song called Text Me Sexy Dynamite, which starts with, and it's a line dance. So this is what it builds to.
I promise you'll get the message. Sexy dynamite. Should you stake it in your bed if it's tall? Would it be better up against the wall? Come to the pine shed and stretch your stuff. Then we can freak out and hard it off. You tell you with your sweetheart lips. If I could only find your clever taste. They keep it well and baby fuck it slow. Sit back and watch it grow. And we can be more direct. I don't leave you for even, but that's with autocorrect. And just a simple emoji can show me more than words. Full aubergine told me, woo, you're sexy dynamite. Say face to face for tomorrow. Touch and touch for today. And if sometimes it feels hard, ChatGPT is okay. Hey, hey. So keep the characters coming. In all the love that you write. Oh, send me something to vex me, to perplex me, that affects me, that connects me, to text me. Whoa, whoa, sexy dynamite. Sexy dynamite. Text me. Sexy dynamite. Sexy dynamite. Text me. Sexy
Absolute filth. With so let's move on to our next set. And as the line dancers grab a cigarette, Frances reveals to Helen just how much Molly done for the hall, and Helen gets a little closer to finding out about Frances's home life. Spoiler alert. Now, I should point out, this is going to feature all spoilers. If you're planning on coming to see the show and not be in it, this will ruin it for you. So here we go. Spoiler alert, Frances's husband is an arsehole. It's interesting that the true saints and utter devils in this story are characters we never see. You never see the character who's died. You never see Molly, who turns out to be quite a saintly figure in this. And you never see the absolute swine that is Frances's husband. So everything is played in the middle of this arena. So Frances's defense mechanism against her horrible Bobo is that she pretends not to see the problem. Ostrich, head in the sand. And so while the line dancers practice a slow, deliberate line dance, if you don't mind, Lauren, next week. Slow, deliberate line dance, Frances stands up on a stepladder, planting a hanging basket, and sings a song to her dear Bobo. This is called My Bobo and Me. I can pull this one up for you. Oh, it might be on this. I won't. There's a song called My Bobo and Me in there. Okay. So our next, it's like a Tennessee Waltz type thing. Jennifer Crump and Joan Blacker. They are the lollipop ladies and dinner lady, respectively, of Cheeley Infants. And I've paired them together because they are very, very much a double act. Now, I did say that we wouldn't show you how these characters sound, but I think with Joan and Jenny, the best thing to do isn't describe them, it's to hear some dialogue. Maria, would you mind? We're going to do a bit for you from Joan and Jenny. And, is that everything? Yeah, that's everything. Please turn over halfway through. Yeah. All right. So, I'm going to play Jenny.
I'm not doing that.
Maria's going to play Joan. Okay. So with this, I'll let them know what's happened. Helen's just walked through to the kitchen, and they're shouting after her. Coffee's on the left.
Tea's on the right.
10p in the saucer.
And no hot bottoms on the worktop.
And don't touch that last Jaffa cake.
I think somebody should ask her.
Ask her what?
Ask her why Molly never told her she was so ill.
Remember when she had that turn, and I asked her if something was up? I'm just tired, she said. Imagine, now, if she'd have just told us.
I know, right there and then, I'd have done one of my hot pots and whipped it over.
Or fetched Dr. Chakrabarti. He did wonders when I had here.
I would have done so much for her.
So much.
Remember when Glynis had a hysterectomy? We barely left her side. I mean, no matter how much she said, girls, you're too kind.
Oh, ladies, honestly, that's enough.
Not another ruddy hot pot.
Leave me in peace.
But we didn't, did we?
No, we did not.
3 months, she was right as 9%.
That'll do. Thank you, Maria. So, Lollipop Lady, Dinner Lady, and they are the, well, what shall we say? They've both been around longer than anyone can remember and know every piece of juicy gossip going. Joan also knows our final principal character.
We all know those tea ladies.
I wouldn't mind Neil, we're turning into them, that's the problem. So we need to know, back to the plot, why the keys were lost and why wasn't there a spare handy to open the hall. Frances's husband had never been happy that she was so devoted to the hall, so he found the spare key that Helen posted, and knowing what trouble it would cause Frances, he took both with him on his Saturday round of golf. And that is what caused all of this problem. So, as I said, an arsehole. However, he has a surrogate, name of Ken Rushton. Ken has been sent by Bobo with the proof of Frances's lies to remove her from the committee. He's not a swine, and he's got the keys. So, Ken was the crooked treasurer of the neighbouring village, the rival village, Stackworth Village Hall, in the clubhouse, and he met him there, and came up with a plan to send him with the keys to sow Frances's undoing. Bobo wants Frances at home. She's devoting all her time to the village hall. And so Ken arrives to help out. Joan is suspicious, but everyone else assumes his motives are above board. Now, here's Ken's entrance song.
Happy to help, don't worry, no. Ken's here. What a shake, I'm your juicer. A steak, I'm Medusa. Don't worry, Ken's here. If you'll pardon me, vicar, you lick the liquor. There's no one you trust if you fuss. Oh, just what you need. We're agreed. There's a hero right here. Hold my beer. Don't worry, it's me. White, 2 sweeteners. Don't worry, can't see her. If you crash, I'm your bummer. If you flash, I'm your flubber. Don't worry, can't see her. When you're bent, I'll be straight. I'm your man, I'm your mate. You're failing the test, need the best. I'm the crest of the tree. Can't you see? I'm the man of the hour with the power. Don't worry, it's me. Don't worry, it's me.
So it's basically a James Brown soul number. So, however, I should warn anyone playing Ken that there are 2 versions of that song on the website where we can pick up the rehearsal material. One is in a much lower key. That's in a stratospherically high key because it just sits nicely in my voice. But if you fancy a lower key and you fancy doing something completely different with Ken, have at it. It's there for you. So you can choose whichever key you want for that one. Okay, on we go. So now, all our principals are in place. Here they are. Frances and Molly, David and Di, Geoffrey and Mel, Jenny and Joan, and now Ken. Now, they'll be carrying the twists and turns of the plot. However, what's going to make Cheeley believable isn't them. It is the company. And let's take a look at this. You've got a massive company with lines and solos, lots of little bits. There are even solo songs for company members. And so I'll just give you a brief rundown of these. Now, Pam is a truculent yoga instructor, and she battles with the committee. Christine is a line dancing leader, failing to do an American accent. She's trying so hard, but failing. Dot is a cherobics instructor who battles with Ken. Elspeth is a Scottish leader of the Highland dance group, and Carol is the Scottish singer of the Highland dance group. So we need 2 gorgeous Scottish accents, please. Freya is a creative writer with a bourbon fetish, and Gordon Rockford is the art circle's nude model. So that's just a portion of them. You've also got 6 soloists in the song called I'm Doing Fine, and they do that while they're doing silver surfing and cherobics. So it's a weird musical, folks. You know, feel free to sign up for this one. So There are others. I didn't have time to write them all down, so you've also got Mrs. Jowett, who's a fearsome old bitch of a choreographer, who stands there with a stick. There's Bernie, Val and Denise who get injured whilst, well, I'll explain what happens later. There's also a full hockey team with a beleaguered kit man. And there's Mrs. Jowett's Academy girls who all have matching fleeces and come in like that. Okay, there are different characters filling the hall, such as you've got line dancers, silver surfers, panto dressers, Highland dancers, artists, aerobics participants, poets, planters, and pissed off yoga members. There's so much for the company to do in this one. And you'll find that when you walk off a stage, you'll probably walk back on 5 seconds later dressed as something completely different and as a completely different character. It's going to be a challenge, folks, especially for the dressers. So, now Francis has a couple of immediate problems. The life model for the Chile Arts Circle and the Silver Surfer instructor can't reschedule for the afternoon. So Ken offers to solve both problems. First, he contacts a friend, a very enthusiastic nude model called Gordon, who's nicknamed Rocky. Second, he volunteers to teach the Silver Surfers himself, while the aerobics class takes the other half of the hall. Now, these are both classes for people of a certain age and can feel very, very patronising. So that's what this next number is about, and it's the number I'm Doing Fine. So let's have a listen if we can.
It feels like something's rising, let's broaden the horizon. This click and glitch and sit and twitch are ruddy patronising. Let's do it, 'cause I'm doing fine.
So, someone stands up.
My muffin top is showing and I finally twigged, but I'm doing fine. I buy a larger size 'cause I can't be frigged, but I'm doing fine. Comfort over style, it's better by a mile. And tummy tucking it 'cause I'm a versatile. I'm grooving, but I'm doing fine.
And that builds and turns into something else. The aerobics and Silver Surfers people, one by one, stand up and sing one of those verses. Hopefully they'll get filthier and funnier as we go on. One by one, they're each getting progressively worse, and I think we chose this as the audition piece for the company, largely because it's not that easy to sing a funny song and deliver it properly. If you need inspiration of how to do this and you're worried about it, honestly, just go onto YouTube, tap in Victoria Wood, find a song, because she can deliver a line like nobody else. And the inspiration for this song is a song called Keep On Shocking. So if you want to have a look at that, feel free. That's what I'd recommend. Anyway, let's finish off this song.
Doing fine. You don't do dating when you're 55. Don't do it, just don't do it. The only ones you're into think you're half alive. Don't do it, just don't do it. Mating is hell, it never goes well. You're grateful if he's faithful and he doesn't smell. I'm wooing, but I'm doing fine. Now me and my old fella's trying something fresh, but I'm doing fine. I bought a skimpy car coat that reveals more flesh, but I'm doing fine. The spice in the mix, we're learning new tricks. We're dogging in a layway off the A26. It's all consuming. Listen, I'm fooling, but I'm doing fine.
Okay, end of number. Next, we're into the Arts Circle Life class, alongside the Scottish Highland Dancing Group. Now, Ken's replacement model arrives. Joan and Jenny know Gordon. He's modelled for them before. He didn't have to, they were doing landscapes. And they agreed to cover him up, arranging a tablecloth as a toga and setting him as Zeus reclining. Meanwhile, the dancers have started their routine, Scottish Highland dance, and there's an argument over the only available electric gang socket. And Art needs it for lighting, the dancers need it for sound. and you end up with a song called They'll Never Take Away Our Freedom. Here it is.
Then by chance a canny lassie met a maiden fair. Claimed she came from o'er the bridge and told the maid go o'er the ridge. Lying beyond the burn and bends across the land that never can. So no one there'll take away your freedom. With a hi-ho away you go, leave behind your lonely home, starting you with folks there who could heed on. The lad was done, he stood the bun, but never maid would e'er return. For the bonny lass had found a freedom. For to be not the slave, for the free and for the brave. For those who stand opposed till the tyrant's tomb is closed. Glory be to the free.
So, this just now devolves into a scrap. There was Flying Tartan, Braveheart Spirit, pitched against paintbrushes and Zeus reclining. So a tug of war breaks out over the power lead. Paint suddenly becomes war paint, and all the music becomes a battle cry. The gang club can't take the strain. There's a massive tug of war between the two groups, and finally, things start ratcheting even further. Easels start flying. People start colliding with each other. It is chaos and bedlam. And finally, just when the gang club can't take any more, there's a huge explosion, plunging the hall into darkness. End of Act 1. There you go. Are you all right if we crack on? Good, okay, well, Act 2, here we go. Right. Act 2. Now, Act 2 begins with Knitter Natter alongside Geoffrey's literary circle. The committee are dealing with the injuries from the battle and the power outage. So this is the entr'acte. It's like a post-battle mourn. You get people limping out with blood and tartar and so forth, and they gradually work their way through. Now, so the two groups are combined and people discuss their inspirations. Ken presents his own composition, which is interrupted by Rocky, who in the blackout sadly fell backwards onto a pot plant and is walking rather gingerly. Mel describes it as an arboreal penetration. Joan comments that his bike ride home should be interesting. Now, Freya is a shy member of the literary circle. Her inspiration is, strangely, bourbon biscuits. It's the only reason she comes. It's because the only place she can get bourbons, because she doesn't get them at home. So she sings a lovely eulogy, touchingly, to bourbon biscuits. Freya's in the cast. She's in this room somewhere. Oh Lord. Go, Freya.
When you squeeze the pack and you peel it back and you feel that cocoa drop, then you take the top and you prize it up using just your lower jaw. Then you lick that cream like the wettest cream and you leave the bottom bare wherever they've got bourbons. I'll be there.
It's an interesting musical, isn't it? Okay, now Helen uses the circle to make some inquiries and asks why the church couldn't possibly be used as an overflow for the hall. She makes the case with an inspiring song. This is a big group number. It turns into this. It's called Wherever I Hear Music.
You'll be there. There could be a choice in the quietest voice if you listen through the throng. From your ivory throne, make your hall a home. This could be where we belong. Hear the mighty gust blow away the dust and hear the changes in the air. Whenever I hear music, whenever I hear music, whenever I
balks at the changes and reasserts her authority, but Mel is persuaded and starts talking Geoffrey, the vicar, round. Then there's, what comes next? The Cheely Players Panto Rehearsal. They're doing Cinderella, they're giving Cinderella this year. Geoffrey is directing, Mel is stage managing, and the committee are playing the roles. Di is villagers, footmen, nobles, trumpeter, dandini, courtiers, and chorus. Doing very well. Ken offers to help as an ugly sister as Helen steps into Molly's role as well. So while everyone is changing to get ready for the dress, David and Di see an opportunity for a spot of canoodling. They pick the costume basket. Di gets a little carried away and is making some interesting noises as Geoffrey and Mel return. Geoffrey is convinced there's a wild animal in the basket because he's never heard noises like that before, and certainly not from Mel. So if you want to read how this scene plays out, I'm afraid I can't possibly act it out here. Don't persuade me to. But if you want to know any of the storyline in detail, if you want to hear the dialogue, then the script is available. It's on my website, and all you need to do is download it and take a look. I'm not going to tell you how that scene plays out. Suffice to say, it is disgusting. But at the same time, Geoffrey is the last person in the world to become aware of what's going on between David and Di. And just as the Cinderella transformation scene starts, Jenny is playing the fairy godmother. And this is a song from the panto.
This is my duty, I've got no choice. No prince will see me or hear my voice. Lonely sad cinders, no paradise. I wish for a carriage, a right royal marriage, or just a white horse would be nice. I wish once,
She's wishing for
I
a fairy
wish
godmother.
twice, I wish thrice.
Is there a puff?
No, just say puff! Puff! What do you wish for, my darling?
Fairy godmother abuse.
What does your heart desire? Is it the young Prince Charming, or just a new dress you require? Fairy.
But amongst all this, it's important not to lose the central plot. Ken is gradually acquiring influence and knowledge in order to get Frances off the committee on behalf of her husband. He's gaining blackmail material as we go through the afternoon on everyone to force their hands at the committee meeting. A showdown is coming, and it's here. Ken confronts Frances, even producing those fabled keys that he brought with her as proof that she was lying and misdirecting the committee. So here's the confrontation song. Ken's come.
Don't worry, Ken's here. When the hall is your no-go, you're home with your bobo. Don't worry, Ken's here. I'll take on all the rigours and fiddle the figures. Who can keep strong about what bobos become? Who disguise all your lies? Who could be redeployed in your void? Don't worry, it's me.
But Frances confronts him right back.
Oh dear, you won't fear me at all while you're here in my hall. I'm Frances, I'm here. I don't know what you know, but it won't make me go. Whatever you plan, you think your upper hand's got its catch. Meet your match. Oh, I won't let you in. Who will win? How can it? It's me.
So there's a skirmish during which Frances ties up and gags Ken. Then she shuts him inside the costume basket, and Ken is now a ticking time bomb for Frances, and she starts to crumble under the pressure. But the panto rehearsal just carries on around her, and so here's the panto's finale song. It's about community and support, but Frances is too panicked to hear the message.
Start the celebration, ring the wedding bell. It's a grand occasion and a a fond farewell. Join us for the chorus, join us for the song. We can be together as one.
A typical sort of pantomime homage. It builds to this.
We will be together as one. No one should be helpless or face their fears alone. Together, here is where our heart is, a place that we call home. When the world divides us, we will still be strong. Cry our tears together, fight our fears together. We will be together as one.
Curtain comes down. Now, at this point, everyone clears the area. Frances calls her husband to confront him with what Ken just said. Now, she's nearing collapse at this point, and Helen hears and realises why Molly was so concerned about Frances. Frances sings My Bobo and Me, which is the song she sung in the first half. She sings this to herself a little bit self-reflectively. It's exactly the same song with exactly the same words, and you can see Frances's character arc because it means completely different things this time. And so here is My Bobo and Me.
He holds me so tightly, his arms strong embrace. It leaves me so breathless, my heart starts to race.
So Helen is hiding, and she sings the duet with Frances in sympathy.
How I love my Bobo and me. So this is why you made me come here.
And this is the central
Why you
theme
kept
of
the
the whole
truth
musical.
inside. You saw the signs with a kiss together. You died forever, and the light you gave was gone. It was lost with the Bobo and me.
Okay. Next one. And so we've reached the final scene. Here we are. And every good musical should end with a committee meeting. It's vital. So, the committee meeting, Frances is terrified. David and Di are fearful, and Ken is still tied up in the box. But the story does resolve, and this is how. Now, Geoffrey is chairman, Mel is the secretary, Frances is treasurer, and the meeting becomes an inquiry into what happened that day and why. So all those secrets are about to come out. So, everyone goes back over what they've learned through the course of the day, and just as it looks as if Frances is gone, Helen steps in to save her. Then Di and Dave are finally outed, incidentally, by Geoffrey. Their fears about the relationship ending prove absolutely unfounded, and Helen is able to tell them from personal experience that being out is actually absolutely fine. Then Geoffrey and Mel's issues with helping the hall by using the church are struck down, and so all the problems of the day are solved, and to a large extent by Helen. But what about Ken? Ken bursts out of the box, having finally got free, only to find that every single problem that he got blackmail against is completely fine. So the wind is taken right out from under his sails. And even though he tried to exacerbate everything, didn't work. Joan even has unearthed his checkered past with the Stackworth accounts and sent him on his way with a threat. So the only loose end left in the storyline is Frances's awful home life. And Helen is on hand there too. She offers a safe space for Frances to escape to if she decides to get away from Bobo. Helen offers Frances Molly's key because, of course, Molly isn't in the house anymore. So there's a space. There is a safe space for Frances to escape to. It doesn't wrap things in a neat little bow. In the way that at the end of By George, you're never quite sure if Pauline has gone off with Will. or whether she's maintained her independence another way. You get exactly the same thing here, in that we don't know if Frances is going to leave Bobo or do whatever, but at least she's got the option and she's got the agency, so you can see closure for her there. But the two, Helen and Frances, come together in the final scene. We realise what Helen's done for Frances and what Frances is doing for Helen, and they sing a song called Winter Sun, which you've heard already, but this is the finale.
If you need some distance, it's ready just in case. It's Molly's space, she never knew. But if you were trapped, she'd offer. It's what my Molly do. From her for you, a day goes by. Your eyes and feel the breath of day.
So here's the actual finale. That was the pre-as all this is it.
And I feel the breath of morning as you cross the skies.
Eventually, everyone comes out of the kitchen. She's joined by the committee. It's like a big warm group hug. And to round off the musical, of course, everyone except Ken comes back on and sings the big finale number. And that's the end of it, folks. Thank you. But there's so much more. I mean, so that's the story. I mean, it's emotional, but don't forget, it's packed with gags and stupidity too. And I didn't even mention Jeffrey's encounter with the tea urn, Joan threatening Ken with her knitting needles, the ladies' hockey team chorus number, Jeffrey's constant unintentional double entendres. There's the battle axe choreography from Mrs. Jowett and her strange effect on Mel. I didn't even get to the unfortunate incident with Dave and Di and the pantomime horse. And for all that, if you've got an hour or two, then just take a look at richsykes.com, and the script is right there for you, and just follow it through to the Village Hall, and that's the website, richsykes.com. You can probably tell that this isn't your standard show. It's an in-the-round musical farce, and they aren't that common, but this should be instantly relatable to people, and it's an absolute wow for the audience who won't have a clue what's about to hit them. We, as a company, we learned an awful lot from By George, and just how rewarding and powerful it is to show people something for the first time. It's not an easy show to stage. There's a 9-piece orchestra that Kira's got to wrangle. There are no click tracks, it's all live. And there's not much scenery, and it's just you, effectively. And we're going to blow them away with this show. I really believe that. And I hope you'll all be part of it, on stage, backstage, wherever the hell you want to take part in it. We'd love, love, love to have you. Thanks to you all for coming out this evening. It's incredibly moving to see so many good friends that trust me enough to spend a night of their lives listening to my drivel. So what we're going to do now is just, well, we're going to finish the evening, but we're sticking around. Myself and Neil will be by the bar. Do stick around, have a chat with friends that you may not have seen in quite some time. and we're here for a Q&A as well. Just to let you know, if you want any more information, then do go to richsykes.com, and if you want to book an audition slot, then our girls are over here. They are marvellous, Tony and Antonia, and and all that. They're over there, and if you fancy booking an audition slot, then they'll walk you through that. If you want to take a look at the material that's on the website, if you haven't quite decided which character you want to go for, or whether you want to go for anything until you've read the script, then go away, take a look, and then you can contact us using this Woodhouse MTC Musical Theatre Company at outlook.com. Thank you again, folks. It's been an absolute joy. I really, really hope to see you sometime. From me, from Maria, from Neil, and everyone here at LBT, have a sensational summer, and we'll see you all in the Village Hall. Thank you.